Hello, everybody. My name is Phillip Poynton. I have the absolute pleasure of introducing you guys to Michał Michalec. Michał is our Salesforce Architecture Team Lead here at PwC Poland. I'm going to ask him to introduce himself in a moment. However, I've invited Michał here today because very recently he achieved the magnificent status of becoming a certified technical architect. The three magical letters many in the Salesforce industry aspire to be having. Becoming a Salesforce Certified Technical Architect is a major milestone of a long journey for many Salesforce professionals. However, becoming a Salesforce Certified Technical Architect can seem an illusional goal. So far, only a few hundred people in the world have managed to achieve it. In Poland, I believe it's 3 or 4, but of course, I'm going to ask Michał to tell me a little bit more about this. Hi, Michał. Thanks for joining me today. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Philip. Thank you for the great introduction. I'm a little bit ashamed right now. Indeed, this is a great achievement for me. I think the biggest achievement in all my professional career. I'm relatively old, so it started a long way ago. I have more than 15 years of background in IT in general. Currently, yes, I'm working as a solution architect in PwC, as an architect team lead, we might say so, but really it's not that type of leading you'd imagine. I'm part of a great Salesforce architects team. They are all independent. Nevertheless, yes, I have achieved the CTA. This is a holy grail, and I'm so happy about that.
Congratulations, Michał, really well done. I can only imagine how many messages and emails and phone calls you received once it was official. I know internally from the emails that you received a lot.
Oh yeah. I'm not really a social media type of person, so I'm not really active on my LinkedIn, and it was like almost my first post on LinkedIn, and I was amazed how many people are congratulating me and how many responses I'm getting. So it's nice, yeah.
No, congratulations, well done. Okay, so today I invited you because I wanted to talk a little bit more, let fellow colleagues and professionals from the Salesforce industry learn a little bit more about the challenge of becoming a CTA. So maybe before we get to that, maybe you could tell me when and how did your journey with Salesforce begin?
Okay, so I'm dating my first adventure with Salesforce like 8 years ago when I have started my first project. In Salesforce, I'm coming from a background of different technologies, different ready-made CRMs, and 8 years ago, I was onboarded to the first Salesforce project, and it stays as it is till now. I like the technology. I like the simplicity. On the other hand, I know it's not as powerful as like vertical dedicated CRM solutions, but on the other hand, it's nice and easy to work with. It started all years ago, 8 years ago. After a few years, I moved to PwC, and I moved to CRM department within PwC, and it rolls on.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that with me. How about your background? So before you were involved in Salesforce projects, what was your background? What were you involved? What technologies were you using? Was it also CRMs or were you doing other things?
Yeah, mostly it was CRM. So back a long time ago, I was a developer, as many of people doing the Salesforce implementations right now. I started with .NET. I done some Java. It was long time ago. Then I was doing few implementations with CRM Dynamics in Microsoft, few other implementations based on Microsoft technologies, not CRM directly related, more like SharePoint, more like infrastructure, Active Directory, and all around the Microsoft ecosystem. I had a few relatively large projects in telcos, in Zibel, when I was consultant, doing mainly about the product catalog. And after all of that, I have started doing my Salesforce implementations.
Right. I'm getting a lot, I'm a recruiter, so I'm speaking to a lot of people, not necessarily just focused on Salesforce. What do you think? You've gone through this shift from moving from different technology into Salesforce. What would you say to people who are not entirely sure whether Salesforce, is a future for them?
Starting from another background like .NET, like Java, you will find it really comfy switching to Salesforce. Salesforce basic language called Apex is very, very similar. It's based basically on Java, and you will find no major differences except the major difference around the environment itself. Working with a cloud solution and working in multi-tenant solution is somehow different than implementing your own application running on your own server. So this is a major difference, but except that, you will find it easy and nice to learn. You will like it, I'm sure.
Wicked. Thank you very much, Michał, for sharing that. For the last 1.5 years, over 1.5 years, I've been recruiting solely for Salesforce, and I've had the chance to meet, hundreds of potential candidates and speak to them. And when interviewing Salesforce professionals and asking about their aspirations, and where they see themselves, in terms of their development connected to Salesforce, I would say at least half of them share that they would like to become, certified technical architects. Tell me, when was your aha moment? When did you discover that you're going to take this and commit yourself to this journey?
Okay, it really depends what you call the aha moment here. So first of all, CTA, yeah, you know about that when you join the Salesforce community, let's say, and it's a holy grail. Let's say everybody wants to be a CTA. So my first aha moment was as soon as I started my cooperation with Salesforce. But then you find out that there is quite a lot of prerequisites you need to fulfill in order to be eligible to take that journey. After all the preparation, getting all the prerequisites, the journey starts with some more studying about CTA and how it goes, what it takes to be a CTA. And then there is a moment where you say, okay, it's not for me, it's too much, I cannot put so much effort, I cannot sacrifice that much. On the other hand, when you get a proper support and when you got a proper mindset, then you can handle that and it's easier to take it. So first aha moment comes when you know about the CTA, when you know more what the CTA is, then maybe you think that it's too much. And after that, when you decide, this is a second aha moment when you discover what it actually takes and you start doing that.
Cool, wicked. So let's go into a little bit more detail here, of this journey of yours. So you knew this was your goal, okay? That you had this moment, this aha moment. It took you some time, and it wasn't just the first time you heard about it. You had to research it, go into a little bit more detail. But let me ask you, why? Why did you decide to do it?
First of all, everybody working in a Salesforce environment, it knows it's a holy grail. It's a top of the mountain certificate you can get in this environment. The second thing, when I was participating in other projects where the part of that project was CTAs coming from other companies, and they were mentoring us, they were providing some insights, they were providing some directions, they were really knowledgeable people, and you could find out that they have a lot of knowledge they can share with us and bring a lot of value to the project. And this is the second reason why I think being a CTA is not worth for having a title itself, but it's also about knowing more.
So how did you start planning for this? Where does anyone start? And
Mhm.
if you could just talk me through this journey of yours.
Okay, for me, it was relatively long. I think different people might get a different journey. They might skip some steps. But as a part of that CTA journey within PwC, it is kind of set of steps the company wanted us to follow, really. So first of all, I had to get a buy-in from my company that I am eligible to be part of that journey. And it was surprisingly easy. I had just to spoke with my director, thank you, Marcin, about that. And I was put in a pipe, right? So I thought that I will need to have a plan for myself, how I want to approach that. But part of our preparation pipeline is that, first of all, we take the 601 course. It's like 1 or 2 day introductory course when you find out what CTA is, what the exam for CTA is about, how does it go, and what are the steps, what are the domains, what are the preparations, whatever you need to know. This is a brief introduction about CTA. During the 601 course, you are also meant to do few mocks, so like pretending a real board exams, but way shorter. So you are in a group and you are doing few mock tests, presenting yourself and mimicking your real CTA board exam later. After that, PwC wants us to put into Flow Republic course. Flow Republic is a company that prepares people wanting to become a CTA to become a CTA. So it's driven by Sebastian Wagner, a great coach, who managed to put the structure how to learn people effectively to reach the goal of becoming a CTA. So this is a course which is meant to last for around 6 months. There is no hard boundaries around that. It consists about a series of mocks you are doing with real CTAs. It consists about a series of prerequisites you need to prepare upfront before each of these test mocks with CTA. So this Flow Republic course puts the structure into your learning. What's great about that is also that it teams up different people studying and having the same goal, which makes it incredibly easier when you collaborate, when you are not alone with your study, when you have study buddies, you are teaming up, you are focusing on the same subjects, and you are doing the real deep dives about the certain areas you want to study. So this is a Flow Republic. After Flow Republic, I took another Salesforce course, which is 602, which is actually a mini CTA board exam. It's shorter. It is done with only one CTA, not 3 CTAs like a real CTA board later, but it has very similar structure. So you are getting your scenario, you have a short time for preparation, you are preparing your artifacts, you are doing a shorter presentation, then there is a series of Q&A, and then you are getting a result. After these three steps I mentioned already, 601, Flow Republic, 602, I got my board. So when you are starting that journey, you need to raise a case with Salesforce to register yourself for the board, for CTA board. It takes time. Recently, waiting time for your board date is, I think, not shorter than half of a year at least, or maybe even longer. I'm not sure about that dates, but be aware about that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can only imagine this process takes time and huge commitments, right? Because you've got to you're working full time as well, right? So perhaps tell me, how long did this take you? From planning to getting all your, let's say approvals internally, here with PwC. But I mean, let's talk about these preparation courses. 601, Republic. Flow Republic, and then your 602, and then signing up, registering for the. How long, in your case, how long does this period last?
Okay, so my second aha moment when I have decided that I would like to convince the company was somehow like 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half. And then, yeah, year and a half in December, I remember I joined the 601 course. It was before the COVID area, before the COVID time, so I could join that in person. So it's nice, and you cannot imagine yeah, right now in
I
COVID
can,
area how
I
it
can,
works.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I long for those, face-to-face interactions, but yeah, still something you appreciate now, right? Looking
Yeah.
back.
So from that COVID perspective, I recall that as really a great adventure and pleasure to be part of that course. After that course, I asked to join Flow Republic. The company asked in my name to join the Flow Republic course. In order to join the Flow Republic course, there is kind of mini entry exam when you need to present yourself to the Sebastian, the owner of Flow Republic, the founder of the Flow Republic, and after that you are onboarded to like a what they call cohort, like a monthly cohort. Every month there starts a new course. And okay, it was March last year. The course itself is meant to last for 6 months, but as my board was scheduled for December last year, initially, I have prolonged that, and there was no problem around that. If I'm prolonging that and making it my last mocks within the course, more toward the day of my board rather than at the given time of the course itself. So I was part of the Flow Republic. I was preparing there for around 8 or 10 months in total. I was teaming up with a lot of people from within the Flow Republic, but as well with people across the internet, working in different groups. And I think it's extremely important that you team up with as many people as you can, because it brings a great value if other people with other mindsets provide the comments on the way how you are presenting, on the way how you are talking about certain technical aspects, and even bring the information and knowledge that you might not be aware that you are doing something wrong. So it's incredible value. I'm constantly saying CTA board and preparation is not something you can take alone. You need support.
So,
Yeah.
so Michał, from your experience, which channel works best? I mean,
Mhm.
how did you connect with
Mhm.
like-minded people or people preparing for CTAs? Where does one go to? I mean, we got, of course, Salesforce community, LinkedIn, Facebook. Tell us, how did you connect with people?
Okay, finally, I have great value comes with Flow Republic because it brings you the structure. It's not about really technical knowledge. It's about your presentation structure, about forming your artifacts and how you do the presentation. The second thing in Flow Republic, you can meet a great people to be your study buddies, and they are really focused and devoted to the studying. So this is a kind of mindset you need in order to be successful. The second thing, you are looking for a lot of study groups across internet. There is plenty of them, but you need to choose wisely and choose those which are really focused, really deep working. You will have a deeply sessions with your study buddies, and you need to be engaged really and provide your own input to these study sessions. So either you will find these people within Flow Republic with any other course, or you will find that across Salesforce community groups. It's good to start with like shouting out in a community group that you are looking for CTA study buddies, and you will immediately be introduced in one of these groups, and you will find out a lot of people studying there, and you might easily become a part of such a study group. But such a study group mostly doesn't provide a structure, doesn't provide a plan for you. How much time do you have before your board, or how much, what you need to focus on? This is what comes with your own knowledge, which before becoming CTA, you might not be really aware. It might come with a CTA course within Flow Republic. It might come with a personal CTA mentoring program if you are able to have direct access to one of the CTAs across the world. Yep, this is what I would strongly advise. Spread as much as you can and work with as many people as you can. It will be beneficial for you.
Great. Okay, so let's come to the review board. So, probably one of the most stressful exams or experiences that anyone will have, in their professional Salesforce career. What does this review board look like? Tell us, from your perspective, what it looked like for you.
Okay, it looks kind of different these days in a COVID days when you are taking this exam virtually. Previous days, I never had a chance to do that. Previous days, you used to go to the Salesforce headquarters, either in London or somewhere in US, and take the board. And I can imagine it was kind of even more stressful when you are like standing in front of 3 CTA judges and you need to first of all present and the second do the Q&A session with them. Nowadays, all this exam is entirely virtual, which on one hand seems less stressful, but on the other hand, I think it's another type of stress because you are not dealing with a real people. You are dealing with a remote desktop and all the internet lags and all that stuff. So it's another type of stress. Okay, the entire board, first of all, it's planned upfront. You know your date in front of few months, basically, which, by the way, gave me opportunity to postpone my first board because I was not prepared. I didn't feel prepared, so I have postponed, and I took effectively my board at the April this year. Nevertheless, when you know the date, you need to book around 7 hours of your time to get from the beginning till the end. It starts with some preliminary session setup of the devices, whether you have an access, whether you can access your scenario you are going to solve on the remote laptop. Then when the time comes, you take your 3-hour preparation time. 3 hours for native speakers. You can extend it to 3 hours and a half if you are not native speakers like me. And you are preparing your scenario, your presentation, your artifacts. During this time, you are preparing the presentation and all the artifacts you were practicing, you were studying over months previously. So some of the things you need to put in that presentations come automatically, and it needs to be that way because really there is no time. It's a scenario like 11 or 12 pages long, and you really have no time. You need to work on kind of automated way, and whatever are the things that you can recall from your previous mocks, your previous scenarios, you can put there automatically. It takes 3 hours or 3.5. Then there is a 15-minute break. During these 3 hours, you have one break as well, but later you have another break when all your artifacts you have prepared, either remotely on the computer or manually on your paper, needs to be scanned, needs to be photographed, needs to be put in the form of the presentation. And after that, you start your 45-minute, no matter whether you are a native speaker or not, 45-minute presentation. During that 45-minute presentation, you need to go through the entire structure mentioned in the CTA exam guide. So you need to cover all the points which are there. There are 7 domains you need to score, you need to pass all of them. And there are also certain points in each of these domains you need to be mindful. You need to mention what is your org strategy, what is your mobile strategy, what is your file strategy, what is your integration strategy, what are the limits, impacts, and all that stuff. You need to really be mindful what you are presenting, what you are putting into your 45-minute presentation. Then your presentation stops. It's like time-bounded, no prolongation, no questions asked by the judges during this 45 minutes, okay? This is just your time. Do your best, present your solution. Then you are getting another break. And after the break, Here is where the hardest part comes. I mean, this is the stressful part, because you are reaching to Q&A question, Q&A session. Q&A session is session when you are being asked by CTA judges about your solution, but not only. They can deviate from that. They can question around the things related to your scenario. They can provide maybe even some variants, what would happen if, and so on. But really, the judges are there to help you. So I know it's stressful. It was extremely stressful for me, but I have found a lot of guidance, a lot of help from the questions raised by the judges themselves. So they are there to help you. If you didn't made well in one part of the presentation, they will ask questions about that area, so you can get your points and pass the board. After Q&A question, there is you are over, and you just need to clean up all your artifacts. You need to destroy them, not to leak outside, but this is end of the board in general.
Cool, and I guess it's a good time to probably have a drink. I mean, wow, it seems really stressful. Pressure is on. In terms of these CTA, these judges, who are they? Did you know anyone? Who are these people?
So these are basically other CTAs that are working with Salesforce as board judges. You don't need to necessarily know them. I have recognized one of the judges, and this is a very famous guy. I'm listening to all his podcasts in Spotify, and I like his program when he's talking about Salesforce. And I made his podcasts part of my preparation to the CTA board. So it was kind of additional stress when I saw him joining my board. But yeah, so I recognized him. I didn't recall any other two, but these are basically CTAs working closely with Salesforce to provide this board.
Once you've finished, you're done. Do you get any immediate feedback, and how long does it take to find out, how it went?
Yeah, no way. You are not getting any immediate feedback. So Salesforce says it might take up to 2 weeks. Eventually, it takes 2 weeks. It's rarely shorter than 2 weeks, and you need to wait. And during this 2 weeks waiting period, you are getting a lot of different emotions. First of all, I was convinced I have failed and there is no way, and I was almost asking for the retake date. Then there is resignation comes, and you are saying, okay, it's not for me, I'm not taking that anymore. And finally, for me, it came a surprise that I have passed. So I was even surprised that much that when I saw the email saying congratulations, I said, okay, Salesforce, it's mean, I have failed and you are congratulating me. But never, I was extremely happy after getting the notification.
Wow, congratulations. What an experience. I guess, those 2 weeks must have been the longest 2 weeks, you've had for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. Let's talk money. All in all, what sort of investment are we talking about?
Okay. Money is one part of the investment only, and it costs a lot. And it really depends whether you are financing that by yourself or you have a company that is helpful, like it was in my case. First of all, 601 course, I don't recall the exact money, and it was paid by my employer, by PwC. Flow Republic course costs a lot, and moreover, it's not something that you can just buy right now. It's like a resource that is restricted right now, and you need to wait to get your seats in a Flow Republic course right now. Then the board itself, it costs around $6,000. Maybe it will be discounted in the future. I'm not sure about that. Nevertheless, you need to pay for that, and you need to wait again. Okay, first of all, you need to wait, and then you are paying in that order. But nevertheless, it costs a lot, and you need to wait. It's not that you have money and you are getting that. And 602 course, which is a great preparation before you get actually your board, costs additional money, which I don't recall, but it's around $1,000 again. It costs also a time, right? This is the major cost you are taking, and it's a huge commitment, because I can compare the effort and the amount of hours you are studying yourself and with your study buddies within the study groups is something similar, like you would take almost the 1 year study in university. It's hard to handle, especially when you are like working full time. So you need to work after hours and over weekends, and it's a huge commitment, not only for you but for your family as well, and you need to be mindful about that.
Thanks, Michał. Thanks. So yeah, it's not just the money, which sounds like it's in the tens of thousands of dollars. It's also, you know, the time and family commitments that you have to invest in order to achieve this. So if you could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself before undertaking this journey?
Yeah, so I think I made one serious mistake. I wasn't paying enough attention, and I was not studying as much as I should at the beginning of my journey. And I think this was mainly the reason why I have decided to postpone my initial board date, because I was basically not well prepared. So I would strongly advise and encourage you to reach out to different study groups, study buddies across internet, and find as many help from other people across internet, from other CTAs which are willing to help, and take that help and study as much as you can, and it will pay off really, really well.
Thank you so much, Michał. And my final question is, what next? What now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's not something that I was expecting that anything will change in my daily job. I'm right now having a great projects in PwC, and it was even before my CTA board. So I'm not expecting that because I'm CTA right now, I will be participating in more entertaining, more projects that are more demanding than the ones that I'm participating right now. So I don't expect anything more on that. What will definitely change, we would like to run our internal CTA mentoring program in PwC, which will be helpful for others in our company that are joining that journey and would like to reach the CTA title. So definitely this will change for me, that I will be part of that mentoring program as well.
Thank you very much, Michał. Again, you know, congratulations, well done, and I wish you, you know, all the best. And thanks for sharing your story with us. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna appreciate your experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Philip. Thanks for ability to share share with the community. Thanks.